Today I fucked up by giving my son a clown punch. I have my 8-year-old son every second weekend as part of a shared custody arrangement. He's a good kid, polite, happy and a little bit shy. I live in a separate town 2 hours away from him and his mother. A couple of months ago the circus came to town. To advertise their presence they put up numerous giant inflatable clowns at different locations. After an afternoon at the park my son and I drove past one of these blow-up clowns and in the spur of the moment I gave him a swift punch in the arm and shouted, "Clown punch." My boy was taken aback by the sudden turn of events and sought to clarify what had transpired. "Dad," he shouted. "What was that?" Exclamation mark. Thinking quick, I calmly explained to him that since I had spotted the giant clown balloon first I was entitled to a clown punch, to which he had no recourse to retaliate. "That is not a thing," he protested. "I have never heard of that before." Told my sweet summer child that there are probably a great many things he hadn't heard of before and the tradition of the clown punch goes back many generations. Since I knew the locations of the clowns I took the long way home and dished out several more clown punches, much to the increasing frustration of my boy. He peered out the window, eagerly hoping to be able to return the favor, but it was no use. Time after time he would be beaten to the punch and have to hear my victorious shout, "Clown punch." The circus packed up and left town as suddenly as it had arrived. Days turned into weeks and weeks into months. The era of the clown punch was but a distant memory and I had not given it a moment's thought. Until today when I received a furious phone call from my son's mother inquiring as to why, after driving past a giant inflatable clown with our pride and joy, she had received a right hook to the face followed by a victorious scream of "Clown punch." Too long didn't read, made up a silly game to tease my son which ended in his mother being punched in the mouth. An endearingly violent custom, successfully passed on to the next generation. Man, you should have set some ground rules or something. I mean, punching a driver to the face is dangerous. That said, I had a punching game. It was on horse. You can see why punching on the arm is beneficial if you win the round. I can kinda see why you only get every second weekend with your kid. A punch buggy by a different name is just as infuriating, yet still so sweet. It was always called slug bug in my family. Right hook to the face. Lamal. Today I fucked up. The plumber came, and I awkwardly offered to show him the inside of my fridge. The leak was in the toilet. If you think you will outgrow saying awkward things, I'm 50, so if I haven't outgrown it yet, I'm not going to. Last Tuesday, the plumber came to fix a leak in the toilet, which is in the back of my house. Front door opens into the kitchen and living room. COVID years have rough on me, especially the last few months. I have an invisible illness, and housekeeping has gone by the wayside. The last few weeks have been great too, but there is currently no counter space or a free table. I feel embarrassed about this. So when the plumber comes in, I nervously start word vomiting apologies and explanations about the state of my house. He very nicely says, "It's fine. I've been here before, remember?" Oh yeah, I forgot he was here a few weeks ago, unfreezing my pipes. Thanks ADHD panic brain. Now I'm more embarrassed. So what's the next thing out of my mouth? Question mark. The inside of my refrigerator is clean. Would you like to see that? I smiled awkwardly, spun around and walked toward the bathroom. He laughed. Thank God. So yeah, you may not ever outgrow saying awkward shit, but around my age, you can just start blaming the filter in your frontal lobe. TL, doctor. Plumber came by and the only uncluttered space in my house is my refrigerator, so I offered to show him that, despite the leak being in my bathroom. I like you. Haha, well thank you. It's a disorder. Smile. At least he found humor in that. I would have died of embarrassment. Haha, I'm glad he did, too. He's a really good guy. We didn't interact last time he was here. Oh, and it's not like I stopped talking all the way back to the bathroom. Finally I looked at him and said, "Look, I don't have to explain myself to you, here is the leak." The poor man just smiled, said no you don't. My daughter, 27, showed up later. I told her. She was like Mom. I said, "What? You did a good job." Wanted to show it off. He laughed. She said, "Yeah, but Mom, I get that a lot." Hopefully things are improving for you. Remember, you're awesome. They are. I'm out of the hole. Thank you. You are adorable lol. I'm sure that'll be me in the future. I'm such an awkward dork lamau. Ha ha ha. You know what it funny, I have been called adorable for other weird shit I've done. So I'm just going to accept that title lol. And if it is going to be you, you are just as adorable. Smile. That's funny. Your plumber probably thinks you have a killer sense of humor. I hope so. I've always used humor to get out of the weird shit that I say. I think it's self-preservation. Haha. Today I fucked up by waterboarding myself with a bubble bath. My fuck up starts with a visit to my parents for Easter. My boyfriend and I stayed at a cheap hotel to save money, so our expectations were low. Until I entered the bathroom. The first thing I saw, jets. Our tub had mother freaking jets and was large enough to hold a rhino. Immediately, I knew what had to be done. I had to take a bubble bath. I sprinted over to the grocery store and got the supplies. 2 Angel Whispers scented candles, a big pink bottle of bubblegum bubble bath. They unfortunately didn't have my normal brand, but had a cheap alternative, and a set of cheap lighters. I get back to the hotel and get to work. I light the candles and place them on opposite corners of the bath, turn off the lights, and start the water. Normally, I would have waited until the bath was full to get in because I'm not a troglodyte, but I was too excited. I had to get in right away. I got in the water and did what I normally do with bubble baths, dump half the bottle into the bath, turned on the jets, and closed my eyes. I opened them a couple minutes later and began to panic. Bubbles were completely enveloping the bath and spilling out into the bathroom. I shut off the jets, but it was too late. It looked like the fire retardant system of a military hangar had gone off. Suspicious, I checked the back of the bottle. In big letters, I saw use only 1 to 2 cupfuls per bath. Fuck I thought, but the damage had already been done. I wasn't going to let that ruin my bath though. I googled to make sure bubble bath wasn't flammable, put on some Shania Twain, and laid back. Now for the big fuck up. For reference, with my normal, luxury bubble bath, the bubbles would start to disappear after about 30 minutes and wouldn't really stick to you. But, I guess sometimes cheaper is actually better. After about an hour, instead of disappearing, the bubbles had seemingly retained the exact same mass they had before, and would stick to my arm like a clingy X. At this point, normal people would have probably drained the tub and started over. But, I'm not a normal person, so instead, I did what I normally do in a bath, dunked my head and came back up for air. But, there was no air. Instead, there was a wall of bubbles covering every orifice. No problem, I thought. This happens all the time. I'll just wipe them away and breathe normally. I reached up to swat at my face. I opened my eyes and to my horror, all I could see was white. I swatted away the bubbles again, but they were replaced by even more. I even tried to breathe in but couldn't. Fuck. I'm going to be the only person to die from a bubble bath. That's how I'm going to die. Of everything that could kill me, a fucking bubble bath is what's going to get me. After what felt like an eternity, but was probably only 10 seconds, I was able to free myself of the bubbly stranglehold and gasp for breathe. Surviving to tell this story. TL, doctor, didn't read the safety warning on a bubble bath and waterboarded myself. Sounds more like trouble bath. At least you survived, eh? This was a roller coaster from start to finish. I am just thinking about the poor hotel staff who had to clean up the mess after your foamy fiasco. Thank God, it seems like this time it's only bubble foam. The idea of a cheap hotel's poorly cleaned mildew/mold infested tub jets encrusted with dozens of others crusty leftover bodily fluids is where you fucked up. Bubbles to the face was simply the coup de grace.